Gothic grit paste, grunge, grid. Where's a grid? I've got this bit. What else have I got up here that's maybe a grid? Let me bring this down. Hello, welcome to my, oh see I can't even move this. Dear. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name's Kirsten, this is where I art and craft, or rather this was where I arted and crafted. I've not done anything for such a long time. I know you're getting the Marguerite Millers. That's because I did them in advance one day when I just thought I'm just going to get a batch of these done so they're done, because they always seem to be suddenly, oh I haven't done my Marguerite Miller, so I just sat down one day and did a batch of them. However, grid, see that's a grid as well. That's quite different because that's a different kind of grid. This is Marguerite, this isn't Marguerite Miller though. This is ABCJLC with a hashtag in the front. The alphabet challenge from Jodi Lewis Creations. See, that's actually ledger paper, but is that a grid? You know, does a grid need to be actually equal squares? I do have graph paper somewhere, but if I'm being honest, I can't be bothered going hunting for it. I don't think I'm going to use that as the grid. I've not been filming, and I've tried a couple of times to do things at my desk and failed miserably. I've got a major flare up with my hands, which means I can't use my opposable fingers. So I can't use anything that requires my thumb and another finger, which makes everything crafting very difficult. But today is not too bad, so I'm going to give it a try to get this one done. I hope you're all feeling good and are enjoying your crafting. I'm enjoying it. Listen, I am actually enjoying it because one of the things I've done, which I could do, was I've organised my napkins. I'm still in the process. I've not quite finished doing that, but I've got a box for them and everything. Oh, it'll be so exciting once it's done. So there's a grid. There's a couple of grids, and I can decide what I'm going to use. And I've got these Gothic backgrounds, which I thought I could tear up and use as my collage. And then I thought, when I saw these houses, I thought maybe I could grunge up this key, and it's for one of these houses. Maybe this one. It depends how we go. So let's start by, right, okay. That's not going to work. Let's see if I can do it this way. Yep, there we go, because it doesn't matter if it's not terribly accurate. Not the best cutting out in the world, but it's done. So we've got a kind of gothic background going on there, and why I wanted to get that to, oh, let's ink around the edges of this to make it grungy. It doesn't need to be distressed. Distressed is when it's in my book, distressed means it's actually torn and tattered. A bit of deckling on the edge of the paper, it's grungy. That'd be torn if it was distressed. That's just how I see it. You do you. That's me. But I want to. Grungy is certainly going round and grunging up the edges with the. That's gathered twigs I'm actually using at the moment. No, I can't do that. I just want to pull that other wee bit off a bit there. There we go. Okay, so there's some Gothic. The other bit of Gothic I want to do is I want to use some of this Tim Holtz THS 149. It's Stampers Anonymous stencil, and I want to put some grit paste through it, and I just want to do maybe just kind of one word kind of somewhere, maybe something like there. That's just, and this is Crypt grit paste. So as you see, when it's opened up, it's grit paste, but it's also and it's grey, and it smells like plasticine, which makes me very happy actually, because I love the smell of plasticine. Okay, I hope that hasn't gone over anything. Oh, it's gone over my skull. Oh dear, let's scrape that off it back into the top. It seems to last forever, this grit paste. There we go. Just peeking out a little bit. Maybe put another bit over. Let's put another bit over here. Here we can. Let's just put this bit. I don't know what it means, but let's just put this sideways on here. Ow. Got a bit on the edge there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and I will be back tomorrow because I just can't do anything more today. Back to do another bit of this. I remembered I had some bat die cuts, and I thought, oh, I'm going to cut out some small bats. I went to look for some black paper, and I found some black grid paper. So my grid paper is now these bats. So that's that element done. I've also, from one of these other tags, I've cut out a circle, which is going to be the fob for this key. And I stuck my pad to the thing and tried to, I just didn't have the strength to get the ink onto because it's quite a bit of rubbing to get the ink onto these pads. So I tried to just rub the pad, and actually I quite like that effect, because this has ended up drying and kind of disappearing a bit into. So I'm just thought, well, let's make it some red, because that's kind of gothic-y as well. So I'm just rubbing the pad over here, and it's just catching the that word. I'm maybe going to have to do this in sections because it's coming on alright. I've also caught it there a bit in the rubbing, but I'm okay about that actually. I don't mind there's a bit of red now on top of my skull either. It's interesting how this is, maybe because it's a bigger area, it isn't going as evenly as that. It's maybe because maybe I did that one more evenly. So this, it's various bits that are, but actually I don't mind that at all. I think that's looking quite good. I just realised I probably went off the screen because I zoomed in a bit then, sorry. I wouldn't normally advocate doing this, but, and it's actually, even this is hurting my hand a bit, but I think this is the only way I'm really going to get. I might, when himself gets home tonight, I might ask him to load up my pad, although he's getting a bit fed up of me asking him to do things, because I have a list of things that I've not been able to do when he gets home every day. I mean, he's great, he goes, he just does them, but you can see at the same time, it's like, oh, I wanted to get on and do this or whatever, and instead he's got me. I do love the way it's kind of all, there's lots of bits of kind of blood now all over it. This, by the way, is barn door I've used, but I'm liking that actually. You see, that's maybe because this dried, because I did that last night, but that seems to be a lot paler than the other one now. There we go. I'm liking that. That's looking really cool, really gothic. That's big on the gothic. We're big on the gothic. Now, what I thought I would do is, oh no, I can't do that, don't be silly. What I thought I would do is I'd maybe put the key kind of across like that, but I need to grunge up this key first and make it look old, and this is going to be its tag. Originally I was going to use, you know, I've got some of those key tag, round key tag things, but I decided that it was going to be a bit too big and bulky, so maybe I won't use a tag at all on it actually. Maybe I'll just use the key without a tag. And I've got my extra bats to put on as well. But this key, shall I put my extra bats on first, or shall I wait until I put the key on? And no, the key will be top, so let's put the bats on. And I thought I'd put this one here, and this one here, because there's bats here and this is kind of just more bats further out, and I'm just, as I say, I'm just adding bats to where there's already bats really. But we've got grid bats, which was a total, I just thought it'd be quite, I actually thought I might put a bat on the keyring. That was the idea originally, which is why I got the bats out. And then I found this grid paper when I was looking for the black paper, and so I thought, all right, okay, we'll just do more than one Kirsten, and that's your grid paper. I had a friend who died, which is why it's had rather than have. Big phobia of bats, and we used to go to a place that always had bats, and she was also a smoker, so of an evening she would have to go outside to smoke because you weren't allowed to smoke inside. and it was a case of how her fear of bats, did her fear of bats outweigh her need for a cigarette? And you used to have to go out with her just to kind of because the cigarette always ended up winning, but the fear of bats always meant she needed to have somebody else out there just in case they did actually attack her. They never did. She was a wonderful friend. And then we're going to put that on as a kind of focal image. And this is the key that opens the spooky house. So let's do some stuff with this key. Start with getting a bit of something to put it on, to work on. And I was thinking that actually the first thing I might do is, because the shape is there, I mean, I quite like not to lose this, but actually I think what I want to do is I want to put over, oh actually maybe I'll put some more grit paste over it, because then that will give it, I could then build on that like, You see, this is, no, I don't think it does need some gesso. I think it'll be okay without gesso. So I've got this Pebble Moon Fantasy, which is a hammered effect paint, which makes, oh, I don't know if I can open this. Oh, I made the most wonderful fish with this paint. I've got several colours of it. Right, okay. I can't open this. I'm going to go down to the kitchen and see if I can open it with my... Oh, right, let's just forget the hammered effect. I've got some... See, this is going to not be so good just by itself though, is it? Let me think this through. I've decided I'm going to use some of this stencil butter in this terracotta colour, just to try and give some texture on here. Just trying to make it a bit more kind of rusty-ish. And it's just that it gives it that kind of texture bit as well, which is what I like. What I was thinking of doing. Right, then what else am I going to do? Because I need to do more than that. I'm going to see, I was going to use this brown. Maybe I still do use this brown. Let's just put a wee... Oh, I can't squeeze that. Let's try squeezing it. Okay, this is obviously nearly... There we go. We've got some out. And looking for my little brush. There we go, that one will do. Need that for something else. That one will do. And the thing with acrylic paint is you can actually do it thick as well. I'm just doing wee dots so that it's and this is a gouache, which means that it'll have a slight, it's kind of semi-opaque. There we go. And I need to leave that to dry, and I'll go and wash up, leave that to dry, and then we need to add some, I'll see if I can get this open, and I'll be back in a wee while. Well, there was no opening that fantasy moon with these fingers at the moment. I've got big sausage fingers. Look how it has. Oh, anyway, stop complaining, Kirsten. So I'm quite liking how this is looking, but it just needs something else. So I'm shaking up my frayed burlap, and I'm just going to drop some on here. And I'm using the frayed burlap because it's got this kind of greeny tinge to it as well, that I think is what I'm wanting. So I did that rather than spraying, because I didn't want it all over. I wanted it in blobs, she says, and then she sprays it with water to activate it, and it kind of sprays a bit over. I hope you can see how that's kind of starts mixing a bit. So I'm just going to leave that to dry again. I'm also humming and hawing about whether to put a bit of red on it. And I think a bit of red, I mean, you can get a bit of red. Right, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm considering putting Distress Spritz, because it's in the barn door again, on it. But this is going to be a bit of a, it's got mica in it, this one. And if I put this on, am I going to regret it and not be able to get it off again? Again, I'm just going to use it as a drip. Maybe what I'll do is, for now, I'm going to put a drip beside, because the thing about this barn door, it's kind of an orangey red. See, that looks so rusty, doesn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to just do it. I'm going to put a couple of bits on this, and hopefully I won't regret it. Well, that's a bit bigger than I expected. Let's put another bit on there. We'll see. Now I'm sitting here going, you need 3 bits, Kirsten, don't you? Because I can't help myself, so let's just put that. Oh, that was way too big. Let's just get cotton bud and lift some of this off. Although I like the way that's mixing that side. Let's just lift off some of this. That's slightly. Although I am actually also really liking that. It's a bit, I should have maybe put that down first and then put the green on top. but it's looking really kind of rusty. I don't know how much that catches because it's starting to get quite bright with the sun out in here. But that's looking a pretty grungy key, as if it's been dragged out of a lock or something. Liking that. So I'm just going to leave that to dry and do its stuff. I might actually, I'm saying that, but I'm just thinking I might put a wee bit of water on those 2 bits of the spritz to see if that, I was very tempted to add some green in with that. No, Kirsten, you meddle at your peril, but you just can't help yourself. Put that and a wee bit of spritz on top of it. Oh, see, too much. Too much! You meddle at your peril and then you just still meddle some more anyway. Let's just lift some of that off. There we go, that's better. I just didn't want it all green down there. I wanted that kind of, I really hope you can see that. I'm not sure you can. The lighting's very funny in here at the moment. It's just that time of day. I'm going to leave it to dry anyway, and I'll see you once it's dried to put it on the card. My key's now dry, and you might be wondering why I didn't use good old faithful rusty hinge and went for the barn door. Well, because I wanted the red, and rusty hinge is more yellow, orangey, and I wanted the red to kind of speak to the gothicness of it. So that's a really grungy key on my gothic background with my grid bats. Something missing. Gothic, grid, grunge. What am I missing? Gothic, grid, grunge. Gothic, grid, grunge. I've tatted up a bit of black lace. I thought I'd put that underneath here, but I need to think about what it is I'm missing. What am I missing? Gothic, grid, grunge, Gothic. I'm missing something. Grit, I've got my grit. So we're done. We've got everything. Oh dear, brain's just so foggy this weather. Now, I thought I'd put this underneath. No, we don't want to cover up. Maybe it's too long. Or maybe shall I put it through? Oh, shall I do that? Shall I put it through as if it's been on a bit of lace? Oh, I quite like that idea. Quite like that idea. We just need to shorten it. It's a bit too long. Right, so let's, or do we want this one that's this bit that's a bit narrower? Or actually, do I want to cut off that other bit? This is going to be difficult. I can't tell you how difficult it was to cut that last bit off. I hoped it would rip and it didn't. So I've got to feed it right into there so I can keep my... Let's kind of try and make it not too neat, but also don't lose too much of it. It's more kind of, the scissors doing the work than me. You know, just the blade. There we go. And we're going to cut off at that bit there, I think. And, oh, ow. Just, sometimes you just have to do it because otherwise you're faffing about. Right, let's put that bit of black lace through there. Oh, I'm loving this one. This is one of my favourites, I think. We've got the grit paste. We've got the grunge. Oh, that's come undone. Stuck. It's the trouble with these, and sometimes you've got to hold them down to stick them. We've got the grunge, which is on the key mainly, but also around the edge. We've got the gothic, and we've got the grid on our 3 extra bats. Love it. And that needs to be filed under G. Oh, I haven't got anything under G yet. Oh, I haven't written on the back of it either. This could be tricky. Right, I'm going to write in the back of it without you watching me. But that's my G card for hashtag ABCJLC. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with me. I've still got last week's full deck challenge to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it done before tomorrow, so that might be late in posting, and then next week's will be on before I know it. But this idea was floating around my head and I really wanted to get it done, so I'm glad I've got that done. You take care. Keep crafting. Bye for now.